let's look at another thing which is very important in being part of a team. You should be able to be able to express yourself in a way that has got respect. You should have behaviors conducive to working as a member of a team. So let's actually be right now look at what are those behaviors so that we are able to build an effective team. So when building a new team, an obstacle you as the team leader will face is expectations and behaviors not conducive to teamwork. So you will find out that sometimes you have a team, but the team is not what you expect it to be. Maybe they love drinking too much and forget to do their work. Maybe they love talking too much and so forth. So all those things might not be exactly what you brought out the team to do, and that might actually affect the productivity. So you can overcome these challenges by establishing guidelines for the team conduct early on in the team building stage. I'm sure you've been part of teams where you had a good leader. You also have been part of teams where you know you had a bad leader. So good leaders are able then to put in guidelines that can guide all of you in achieving the goals that the team is supposed to have. They'll put rules. Sometimes these rules could be strict and not so nice, but at least they increase productivity. But this is something that has to be done, especially if you're a team leader. There's no choice. You have to put in the rules. You have to put in the expectations of each team should be clear so that everyone is understanding where they are going and everything. Because sometimes people will fail to behave according to what they should behave like, not because they are bad people, but simply because they actually don't even know what is expected of them in terms of how they should behave. There are certain obvious things, for example, that maybe let's not find ourselves doing other activities other than working on our projects, for example, getting drunk and stuff like that. Those might be some of the things that are obvious, but some things might not be so obvious. Maybe you haven't really set out to say what times are we going to meet. You say, okay, we will always be meeting at around 12-ish and stuff like that. That don't mean someone can arrive at 12:30, another person will arrive at 12, another at 12:15. That will affect the productivity of the team. So these behaviors can always be guided by setting out guidelines over what is expected of each team member, so that each team member knows exactly what time they meet, what is expected of them on that particular team. If they're going to present, please make sure they know prior, so that they don't come and now that they're at the meeting, that's when you start telling them you're going to be standing up to present to the rest of the team about A, B, and C, and now they are jumping around like a headless chicken wondering what happened. That's not exactly the best way to deal with leading a team. Now, another thing you should be able to hold at high regard is etiquette for team meetings. Etiquette means respect. I'm sure you've heard about, he's such a gentleman, she's such a lady. All that is because of etiquette. The way they behave is sort of reserved, is respectful, as opposed to the other ways that other people actually behave. So at any team meetings, establish guidelines for meeting etiquette, and this helps you to manage meetings and so that they remain as productive as possible. Meeting etiquette guidelines involve attendance, interruptions. You might actually be able to say no. Once we're in the meeting, all phones should be switched off, and everyone agrees on that. Now you know that you really have no meetings that last maybe over an hour, because during that time, no one is concentrating on anything else except what you came out to do. But now, if everyone is able to be on their WhatsApp, they are receiving calls and everything, you will find out you need the whole day for something that you could have discussed and finished in less than 30 minutes. You should also be have open approach to communication. So as a team leader, you need to create a team atmosphere where team members feel comfortable contributing and sharing. I'm sure also you have had experience with team members who are especially team leaders who know everything, and they don't want any suggestions, or they don't want actually to be told of anything. They want things to just go the way they want things to go. In an ideal world, every one of us would just say, look, I want a team of 5 people. These 5 people should be able to do A, B, and C, and they will do that. But unfortunately, the world we live in is different. Sometimes you want 5 people, but the 5 people you want, you can't afford to have them on your team. So at this point, you are stuck with people you can afford to have. But those people you can afford to have, they are a ton of work. Some of them don't even understand exactly why they are part of that team, so you need to be always helping them. And also, some of them might actually have better knowledge than you, so you should also be able to you should also be able to communicate effectively with them. So make sure that communication is very, very easy to achieve as part of your team. Moment you find yourself being someone who uses sarcasm or who ridicules others, you'll find that this becomes counterproductive, and people won't even respect that. And in the long run, the team won't be able to achieve its goals. Now, handling of conflict. Some team leaders hope they can afford conflict on their teams, but this isn't realistic. As you know, conflicts over schedules, priorities, resources, and different approaches to work are common, and you need to be prepared to handle them. So it's not really about avoiding the conflict. It's about how to handle it when it comes. You know, in an ideal world, we would have a world where everyone likes each other and enjoys working together and agrees with each other over everything. But this is not an ideal world. So half the time we meet and we don't like each other. We meet and we don't like the way other people are proposing to do certain things. Now, how then do you handle that as a team leader? When your team is locked in a conflict, you can use three approaches to handling conflict: compromising, collaborating, and confronting. Now, decision making. Because decision making is done by the team, not a higher authority, it tends to be more complex than in a non-team situation. So as a team leader, you must work with your team to establish decision-making process. Part of this is deciding who make decisions and who will be accountable for them. So it's weird that as being part of a team, one of the most important thing that you have to do as a team is decision making, and certain part of that comes up with the idea of being able to choose who will be making certain decisions, because you can't really have everyone being able to say something about everything. So some people might have specialized knowledge. So those people, then you can give them the power to say, this is your decision to determine what maybe computer will buy because of your experience in computer systems and stuff like that. And on that one, the decision will be left to you. You can do your research. You can actually look for other people to give you maybe their expectations over the types of computers we would like to have. But at the end of the day, the decision is yours over which one you go to choose. That might then depend on the price, availability, and so forth. But still, the decision will be for that person who has got specialized knowledge over computers. So it's very important to be able to do this, and this could avoid a lot of conflicts in the future. As you know, when it comes to that particular piece of equipment, it's this person who's actually responsible for that. When it comes to this type of work, it's that person who's then responsible for it, and so forth. This makes it easier for people to then just come together and then see if all those decisions can actually be able to make everyone work together effectively. All right, I hope you learned a lot. Let's meet each other in the next lesson.